Hi, and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You could follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
What are you in for? What are you in for?
I found something buried in the woods.
Dad.
This is unacceptable. Do you understand?
What do you think it is?
Don't touch anything. What did you do?
We're lost. Really lost.
Stay together. We just need some directions home.
Come on, kid. Pay up. Whoa. Where'd you two find an old Republic credit?
Over here, quick. I'll get you home. We'll make a partnership. But we have to move fast. I need you to take the controls.
Okay.
Neil? Neil?
The nightmare began with Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Need a ride, Santa Claus? Oh, no, not exactly.
But it isn't over yet. In fact, the ultimate nightmare is about to begin all over again.
You little bastard!
All Ricky ever wanted was a little kindness.
Very naughty.
And all he ever got was pain.
She was naughty.
Now he wants revenge. And this time,
Garbage day!
he's going to get it. Step by step, weapon by weapon. Victim by victim. The terror's coming home, and he's all grown up.
This wasn't supposed to happen. Not before me.
Well, is he okay?
I feel so bad for John and Jordan. Their dad just died.
This is the new reality we're facing. The world's without us protector.
Just trying to track that thing. What are you hiding? You're gonna have to trust me. You can't fight it. This is how we save Dad.
Superman is dead. Can we please just enjoy the moment?
I can handle him.
You're not ready yet. You are not your father.
Next time you come at me, you better be ready to kill me.
You weren't trying to save Dad. You were trying to be a hero. My dad is dead!
He always comes back. Not this time.
can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
It does. It does suck.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking thing.
A fucking thing. God damn it.
So this FYI, guys, I am suffering from a sinus infection, so I will be camera off today. I hope you guys don't mind. I got myself some tea. Don't worry. My cat is here, being the most adorable thing you've ever seen. Just trust me on that. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, it's and then I break. Oh yeah, I meant to go over this with you, Bobby, but you know I keep on just playing it anyway. So I decided with the musical clips at the end, I would just have like a backlog of clips I'll throw in there, and then just try to rotate through them all instead of just being stuck on the last one I did forever. And then like if I do like concert in a month, doing like one once and then forgetting about it forever. But yeah,
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it makes more sense to rotate through it a bit, I think. Because like we did like Collective Soul for like ever, but then freaking Kraftwerk got like one episode, I think, because those concerts were so close to each other. It's like that's just not fair. What the hell?
Yeah, and then like Beat had a few too.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So yeah, I was just thinking let's just rotate through them a bit.
There was also that long time where it was Wish You Were Here for the longest time.
Yes. Well, I decided to grab Comfortably Numb this time because number one, it's one of my favorite Pink Floyd songs because I don't even think that's controversial. I think that's probably among a lot of people. No. But yeah, I know Ice-T and Body Count recently did a version that features David Gilmour, and I have not listened to it yet, but I'm interested.
I also read Roger signed off on it, so
he did sign off on it. But
he was also so Ice-T was able to get those two guys to agree on something.
Yes, which was shocking.
That is monumental.
But yeah, the big difference between the two is that Dave Gilmour actually performs guitar on it, so he is actually involved with it, and it's like that's awesome.
that's fucking cool. That's just
I've not listened to it yet, but I haven't listened to a whole lot of Body Count. What I've heard is fine. It's not really my cup of tea, but I enjoy it for rap metal. But yeah, I am interested to check that out. But you know what else? What we did check. Well, I have checked out.
What headlines?
I checked out some of the stuff we're watching. Oh yeah, we got headlines. Well, is there some headlines you'd like to go over? Because there's some shit there.
There's the big thing. It's been over all the news circuits.
The
CEO.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good way to phrase it, but yeah, the United Healthcare
getting
piece of shit
shot like a dog, pretty much.
Yeah, and I want to, guys, I want to stress. I want 100% stress. I do not endorse murder. I consider it wrong. Period. Across the board.
But
I'm also not crying for the guy who got killed.
But I get it.
I'm not.
I get it. Murder's wrong. I clarify that. And killing people is wrong. But I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like well, it's one of those things where it's like how many people have died because this guy
or any
directly or contributed to refusing coverage.
Some facts though with United though, like a lot of it is, and with insurance in general, it's mostly just because paperwork wasn't filled out correctly. Now with United, once it all gets reversed and they actually do the right stuff, most of the time they do claim this. They are in the lower margin in that regard. But I don't know. Based off of the person they have in custody as of today, the 9th of December in 2014. They did arrest somebody earlier this afternoon, like around noon, New York time.
I did see that. I have not had time to research it.
I think they got the guy, but I don't think that he planned to get caught this early.
No. Yeah,
they found a manifesto on him.
Oh wow!
Mostly regarding healthcare, so it's just kind of I don't know much. That's just what I know from skimming a few articles about it. But yeah, that's the big thing I have for the news.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I mean that is a noteworthy story because it has been making the circuit, and it's tough to really mourn the guy. And like I said, murder is wrong. I never ever do murder. Period. It's just something. No. I'm even against the death penalty. I just am. But I'm not gonna lie when I say that when there are certain people who die, I don't feel really sorry about it, and he qualifies. It's like, yeah, okay, he had it coming. But speaking of other stuff to talk about this episode, we got a couple of shows. We got the new Star Wars show, Skeleton Crew. We got Superman and Lois. The series finale, the last 5 episodes to be exact, but we'll be talking about the series finale too.
Yeah,
and
those.
Yeah. And then we got Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, because we were like, we need to cover a Christmas movie this year. Let's pull a Christmas classic.
So I deleted what we were going to talk about and just filled it in with a Christmas horror movie.
Hey, yeah, that sounds good.
That's what I did instead.
It sounds like
he asked me for a Christmas movie. I go, I got you.
Yeah, let's I was thinking let's go ahead and dive into Skeleton Crew. The new Star Wars series, which this is definitely a more kid-centric Star Wars series than we've had before.
Oh, absolutely. And again, Star Wars is also kind of, originally made for kids.
Yeah, it's kind of a kids franchise, so having it be a bit more kid-centric kind of is a pretty intuitive choice. And I will say, the kid actors they have so far, what I've seen, I like them. I'm trying to think that as far as adult characters, we actually haven't seen a whole lot of adult characters outside of mainly Wendell, which is Wim's dad.
Jude Law.
Well, that's the thing. We saw Jude Law briefly at the end of the second episode, and I'm pretty sure we saw him in the first one, but that's unconfirmed at this point. But what we saw in the first one was what I'm assuming is a masked Jude Law that has not been confirmed. I'm assuming that's going to be a twist at some point, or maybe it'll just get revealed next episode.
I'm sure that is him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too, because I was listening to the voice and going, "Is that Jude Law?" And then we
just heard the voice. I was like,
yeah.
Wait a minute.
But I don't know if that is Jude Law. I think that's a cool character to have him be, because that means he's sus as fuck, and he's working with the kids and helping them out, and it's like, oh boy, is he a good guy or a bad guy?
And he didn't react the way that they all else reacted when they said what planet they're from either. So that makes me think like, oh,
yeah,
that's so bad.
So a kind of story set up a bit. So it's mainly dealing with 4 kids. The main kids we follow are Wim and Neil. And I just want to say I love the costume of Neil. Oh my god, it's so awesome. Just him.
I forget the race.
Blue elephant dude. Yeah,
I just call them the Maxi Rebos.
Yeah. I want to say it's the Max Rebo race, whatever. He looks like just a little kid Max Rebo, and I love it. It looks great.
It's just like it's. And then you see like, oh, he has little siblings too.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome. That's amazing. Yeah.
Please tell me one of them has a little keyboard that they play.
Oh, geez. Yo, my Uncle Max came by and played us some music. It's like, oh, shit, I need it on
that. When does this take place?
This is around the same time as Mandalorian, I want to say. So, what, between 5 to 10 years after Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, because I'm getting like it's like, post-Empire.
Yeah. But before sequel trilogy by quite a few years. But yeah, it's supposed to be that time frame, I believe. At least that's what the vibe I get. But yeah, they're 2 buddies. They occasionally get entangled with Fern and KB, who are two girl buddies who essentially they're investigating stuff. Wim stumbles across this metallic surface in the woods, and he thinks it's an ancient Jedi temple. They all end up there, and they all end up figuring out that it's a doorway and entering the door, and then finding out it's a ship. And then Wim decides to hit the green button on the ship, but then it launches off and goes into hyperspace, setting up pretty much your classic kids adventure where they're just lost in space, no idea where to go to. And then you already brought up the thing where they're on the planet, and they keep on saying, we're trying to get back to Aden, and everybody seems to be like, yeah, sure, you're making up a planet. Where are you talking about? And the first sign we get of that is on the ship, actually, where there's a droid, like an autopilot droid, or maybe not an autopilot droid, but like a droid that's just there to help them out. And they're saying, set a course for Aden so we can get home. He's like, where the fuck is that? You're making stuff up, aren't you? And that's kind of the setup of the story so far. Kids lost in space in the Star Wars universe. And honestly, like, watch this. I am getting like Goonies vibes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I kind of am too.
Pretty, yeah. And solidly enjoying it. Like I said, we haven't seen too much of Jude Law yet. He's coming off, at least to me, sus as fuck. But we'll see how the story plays out with him. And I am enjoying the kid characters, and they're honestly doing a good job in their performances. Not really getting the kid actor vibes I usually get, and I hate criticizing kid actors, but they're just frequently not that
monster.
good.
They're children actors, Bob.
I know.
You
I know.
heartless monster.
I know, but it's like, you guys, you can do better. Do better. Do better. But
No. I try not to trash child actors too, because a lot of it is not their fault. Yeah,
I try to be as constructive as possible when I'm talking about kid actors, but I actually think these guys are doing a really good job. I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, they're like, I have seen guys actually just like call them, names and shit like that, kid actors. And it's like, don't do that. They're kids. Don't even do that with adults, but definitely don't do that with kids.
Adults you shouldn't, but they're fair game.
Yeah,
kids,
to a degree.
No.
Well, I mean, it also depends. If you're calling them bad names because you think they're giving a bad performance, that's
like,
pretty shitty. If you're calling them bad names because they're actually doing something bad,
like, are they saying names that could be interpreted as derogatory toward their actual person rather than their portrayal of the character?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, fuck those people. I mean, they can eat shit and live.
Mm-hmm. And then Jennifer here, the neighborhood in the pilot episode is very reminiscent of the aesthetic of E.T. or Close Encounters. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. Oh my god, yes.
Like, all the architecture has kind of a Star Wars vibe with how it's built, which is kind of clever.
Like, it looked like all the concept art that you would see in extended novelizations or just like graphic books about Star Wars. Like, like what planet life is like, and seeing that. Yeah, I love the deeper dive into the planet life, like seeing that suburban area and stuff like that is what I want to see more of with Star Wars series. There's more than just Jedi and Republic to this.
Yeah, there's definitely more.
Give me corrupt politicians and
living,
politics. Yeah, give me that.
It's and obviously we are going to get a little bit of a Jedi because, well, at least Jude Law character uses the Force as established, unless that's a con, which I don't know how that's a con, but knowing him, it could be. But yeah, this is I am enjoying this a fair bit already. I think it was overall very well done. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
No. I'm happy till we get to more of it.
Oh wait, I didn't even share this. Yes, I had the stuff up on here. But you know what? We got something else we got to talk about. I got 2 words for you, Bobby. Garbage day.
I got 1 word for you. Naughty.
Yes. Oh. He probably has to sign Garbage Day or Naughty a lot on autographs.
He signed my autograph Garbage Day.
That delivery was amazing.
My god, right? Okay, on a level of at the whole at center, this film is about trauma. At the
Yes,
center,
sure.
there's a great story that's told within these first two movies. We
True.
skipped over the
True. I
first one just
contend
because I
that.
wanted us to open our presents a day early, so
Yeah.
we got to this one.
Yeah. So if you've never seen Silent Night, Deadly Night, or Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, you're pretty safe to dive into this one. So I didn't know how much of this was cut from the first one, but like I figured like the origin story where the kids were in the car and Santa
No,
kills them and attempts to rape
No.
the mom. I assume that's from the first one, right?
yeah, that like starts the movie.
Okay. And then there's the clips of the brother going out dressing up as Santa Claus and killing people. Is
That's
that the
the
first
latter
movie
half.
as well?
That's the latter half of the movie. Yeah.
Okay. And then the stuff
Like,
with
well,
actually Ricky doing stuff, I assume, is
Yeah, we get a lot more
new.
of
New.
the kid. The stuff with him as a kid is really just kind of like throughout the first half of it, and him becoming
Mhm.
18, and then he gets the job, and like I was like, oh, well, we're gonna put you in a Santa suit, and he has the trauma of remembering that.
Oh
from his
God,
childhood.
no!
So that's what
But
triggers
oh my
all of it.
God, I thought it was hilarious when like he obviously has this trauma and he is like so like quiet and withdrawn, and they're like, let's put him in a Santa suit and have him talk to kids. It's like, what made you think that was a good idea? What?
There's more scenes of him talking to children, and it's just as hilarious as that what we got. Come on, kids, shut up.
And he seems to here's an interesting theme that happens in this movie. So this was done in the 80s, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So like there's plenty of unnecessary boobage. But there's an interesting thing that happens in this movie at least twice. So we have guys and they're making out with women, and they could definitely like just take them over to her place or his place and just have sex. But rather than just do that, they decide to escalate to rape, which is a choice. That's a choice. But the guy, the brother, stumbles into them and decides to execute them. And I just thought that was an interesting recurring thing where it's like he keeps on stumbling into these guys who can't like keep it in their pants for like 10 minutes till they get home.
Who's bathing in an orphanage?
Yes. It's like, okay, you guys are horny for each other. Go to your place.
Yeah, no, I even in the original, that part is a little silly.
Then again, at the toy store.
Then again,
it's
at
like
the
they
toy
go to
store,
the back room to make out, and it's like, why are you going to the back room? Just go back to your place. And then and then she's like, let's just go home. And he's like, no, we gotta do it now. It's like, why? Why do you got to do it now?
He was drunk, and then he tried to take advantage of her, and he
yes.
saved her, and then she called him a psycho, and then he kills all of his coworkers.
Yes, that makes sense. Yes. No, so I don't know if I would call this a good movie, but I would call this an unbelievably entertaining movie. Pretty much from beginning to end. And a lot of the entertainment factor, frankly, comes from Eric Freeman, who plays Ricky Caldwell. He is narrating all of the stuff we get from the past, which is a lot of the flashbacks and stuff like that. Doesn't really make sense how he knows it since he's not part of that story at all. I guess his brother told him at some point. Well, he is like a baby in like the early scene. It doesn't make sense.
He says later that he told him. He told him all this, and it's kind of emphasized that the kid that his brother went back there to like kind of help his because his brother was supposed to be 18 in there as the flashbacks of him as a grown Santa. That full-grown 30-year-old man was supposed to be 18, but he dies in front of his little brother, so that's what caused Ricky to be so traumatized, and that's why we have the events of 2. So I think it's funny because it takes place kind of like it starts off with after Ricky went on his killing spree.
Yeah.
Then
I want to say,
yeah,
Eric Freeman, his performance, like again, it's something else. I won't call it good, but it is kind of perfect for this movie. Just oh my god, his delivery is just so
So fucking
slightly
perfect.
off but perfect. Slightly,
Just so fucking beautiful.
yeah, it's garbage day. You're nutty. It's like I can't even replicate. You just has to
Cape
watch.
Gun.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, what is he doing? And then, like, there's even the bit where he's telling the story to the guy when he's captured. He's telling the story to the guy, and the guy realizes he disappears. And he just goes right into his personal space, right next to his face, to say something. And it's like, why are you doing that? What the hell?
Did I lose you, Doc?
Yeah, it's like, oh my god. Brilliant,
this movie
brilliant.
is the perfect amount of over the top and absurdity, and I absolutely love this movie, and I'm happy to have shared it with you, my friend.
Yeah, it's like Eric Freeman was asking the director. It's like, do you want me to go over the top and completely choose scenery, or do you want me to try to play it subtle? And the director just looked at him and said, "Yes,
yes,
just do that." Okay, I'll see what I can do. It's probably gonna be really weird and kind of off-putting.
Chuck,
Yes.
You haven't seen any of these?
No, I have.
No, Chuck in the chat.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Well, I have not seen the Cinema Stop videos, but I will say Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Very entertaining. It's on Amazon Prime if anybody wants to check it out. Yeah. It is right there. Like, we're spoiling it, but like movies like this, they're about the experience. Like, there's so much about the performance and just the cheese aspect of this that is like absolutely worth checking out. Like, this is like a quintessential appreciating great trash right here. It is. Yeah, this is. If you're looking for Citizen Kane or Schindler's List, this isn't it. But if you're looking for an unbelievably entertaining dumb movie, this is it.
Oh, Chuck, I've met Snob a few times. He's a really nice guy. Unfortunately. And Christopher Baker or Barker. Oh, I'm just getting.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's just trolling a bit.
The room level.
Listen, I listen.
Not really.
I don't
but
like
it. But same league.
Yeah, I would say if you're looking for something kind of like The Room, but you just don't want to watch The Room, yeah, this could suit that.
It's
like, it's
similar,
not quite the same,
but same league.
Like Tommy Wiseau's performance is unbelievably bad, and I don't think he could ever give a better performance. Eric Freeman, I get the vibe he could probably do a better performance, but he's cheesing it up. I think partially directed to do so, but I don't get the vibe that Eric Freeman's in the same category as Tommy Wiseau as far as acting, but performances are kind of not too far off. But yes, but yeah, this is very much if you are looking for a dumb movie, a dumb Christmas horror movie to check out. This one is just so much fun. Oh my god, is that the series tagline?
What?
The nightmare is about to begin again.
Oh yeah, because
that is solid gold tagline right there.
Well, it's the same shit they did for Halloween the night he came back.
Yeah, that's funny. The night he came back again. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, in case you guys are wondering, yes, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie quite a bit. Thank you, Bobby, for adding it into the agenda.
Yeah. This is great,
and we do need to get more for sure. I know there's definitely some great trash coming up next year. With we got some really old Captain America movies to go over. Get ready for Brave New World. And
we're gonna also watch, like a more recent addition to trash, which will be Craven, because that movie's gonna be terrible.
It's coming up. Yeah,
I'm just gonna say it now. I will hate this movie.
Yeah, I am against prejudging a movie before I've seen it. But you're
I
right.
just,
It's going to
just
suck. Like
based off of the past few
I have no
outings
hope. Listen,
that Sony has
I
had into
yeah
the Spider
yeah
Realm. I mean,
yeah.
I'm beyond
I can't
walking in there
argue
with
it
no
because
expectations. Like I'm past that point, man.
I will attempt to walk in there and try to give it a chance, and I know it will shit on it because like I was just even thinking about earlier, and as much as I'm not like a fan of those Venom movies overall, Venom 3's got to be the worst one, right? Like I can at least point to qualities of entertainment I found in the first two where it's like, okay, this is really dumb, but I can find entertainment here. Venom 3 had like none of that. Even the points of things that could be entertaining were just so bad that I didn't care. I just always
Yeah.
remember thinking, hey, at least Venom 3's got to be better than Joker 2. And then walking from the theater and saying, no, Joker 2 was actually better. How the fuck they do that one? How the...
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know about that one.
I
They
definitely enjoyed
both
Joker
ranked
2
pretty
better.
high.
Joker 2 was bad. Joker 2. Oh. So what is the ultimate Christmas action movie? Is it Die Hard or Lethal Weapon?
I don't know. I'd say they're both up there.
I think it's worth saying not people I always loved the original Lethal Weapon.
I do too. Like even
and I always
though
thought
it
it was
has
diminishing
like
returns with each and every one, but yeah, the first one was
yeah,
so good.
yeah, like that's actually not a bad series. It kind of goes off the rail by 3.
Yeah.
I will fully
Yeah,
admit
3 gets a
that.
little wonky, and then 4 is not terrible, but it's not
It's
great
not
either.
terrible, but it's not. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's not its
Yeah.
best outing. But
2
1
is still
are
pretty good,
solid
though.
efforts.
Yeah.
Solid efforts.
And even 3, there's plenty to like in 3 as well. Just it's you can sense it's descending a bit more into cartoony territory than the drama of the first one. Because that's one of the wild things. Like if you watch like Lethal Weapon 3, you might think it's like kind of a fun comedy because that movie is kind of a fun comedy. But then you watch the first one and it is intense.
Yeah, like Mel Gibson talks about eating a bullet for breakfast. It's like Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
I think his opening shot is him pointing a gun in his mouth. It's like Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas, everybody.
It's technically still a Christmas movie.
True. And yeah, and Jennifer, like I said, I won't say I dislike 3 or 4, but yeah, I know when they were talking about doing a 5th one, I was kind of like, I kind of don't want you to, because I don't know. Well, especially now that we've lost Richard Donner. I know when Richard Donner was talking about doing it, I was like, I'm not thrilled with the idea, but if he wants to do it, okay.
I'll
I'm not
watch
gonna
it.
say no. Yeah, I'm not.
I would say the only other Christmas-related movie that we could watch that is Christmas, but not your traditional Christmas movie, would be 1974's Black Christmas.
You know what? That we should probably force that onto the agenda next year. Yeah, because I've actually never sat down and watched that one, and that is one of those classic horrors.
It's the origin of The Call is Coming from Inside the House. Well, not origin. That comes from an old wives' tale of babysitting, but done in the film. Yes. Also, When a Stranger Calls.
Okay. I guess, are we ready for Superman and Lois?
Yeah, let's talk about it, because this one, I've been nice this whole time I've been watching it, but a lot this past season and the season before, Lois was fucking pissing me off.
See, overall I like this. I do have complaints. But I guess do you want to dive in? Because I am kind of interested where you're coming from.
There's lots of times where I just think that she unnecessarily got in the way of resolving an issue that could have been handled without her, but yet she asserted herself into it and only complicated things worse, which is kind of a common plot thread in the show.
What are you thinking of?
Her going to talk to the guy after John, the guy who pulled a gun on her.
Okay.
In the last season, like she didn't need to go over there and like throw it like try and throw the Lois Lane name around or the Kent name, and it was just kind of well, Lois, just let the boys handle it. Let it, like they're gonna take care of it. It's fine. You don't have to go over there. No, oh, okay. And a lot of it's the character, but just
yeah, I don't know. That didn't bug me, and I don't know. I
it
got
really
it.
did. It really did these last few episodes a few times.
Why don't you try to think what are you thinking of the last few episodes? Because
let me get it open. I could find it. Here, go on, talk.
Well, I was just overall, I was a fan of this season. I think it was very well done. I think Luther was perhaps one of the most terrifying Luthers we've ever gotten. I mean, Jesus Christ, this Luther is fucking just psycho at this point. And I think we actually got a decent fucking Doomsday. Because, goddamn, Zack Snyder's Doomsday, just no. And then this was actually kind of a fucking scary Doomsday, despite having way more very, very clear financial limitations than the Zack Snyder one did. By the end, this Doomsday was really badass and terrifying. Because essentially we have a weaker Doomsday that guts Superman's heart at the beginning of this season. And then at the end, we have a much weaker Superman having to go up against a much stronger Doomsday. And obviously we're getting into spoilers, but like there's that great moment at the end of episode 9 where Clark is just thrown down in front of his family and just looks completely fucking powerless. And then the episode ends with Doomsday just scooping him up, and it's like, fuck, that's a cliffhanger. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was a good cliffhanger. She should have fucking listened to Clark and not debated Luther.
Yeah. That one.
Right then. Just like, no. I'm like, you stupid bitch. What are you doing? No. This is dumb. You are walking into a trap.
Yeah.
You stupid bitch.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know. I to a degree, I get it. The issue is Luther controlled too much of the narrative. Because like when it, because like if she had gotten Luther's daughter on to actually report on what he did, that would have been it. But yeah, the issue was less debating Luther and more just giving him too much control. When he throws down to a debate, say, okay, let's do a debate, but we're not doing it on your terms. We're doing it on equal terms. And if you can't handle that, then that's your loss, buddy. That's how I think could have been handled. But I don't know. To a degree, I get it, and overall end up not meaning too much because Luther shows himself to the world pretty soon after that anyway.
Yeah, so it was
because I mean that's part of the really freaky thing about this season. So Superman, when he first fights him, when Doomsday first kills him, one thing Superman does is essentially shoot him off into space and fight him around the moon and shit like that. So that way they can throw down, do whatever. You don't have to worry about killing people. However, Luther decides when he refines Doomsday, okay, the people in Smallville have to pay. So the Doomsday is now focused squarely on Smallville. And Superman is just kind of essentially what they do that I do appreciate is they figures out a good way to utilize his family and him, because he is going one-on-one with Doomsday, who is way more powerful than him. But then he also puts John and Jordan on essentially damage control, flying around, minimizing the impact on the citizens, getting people to safety.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a smart way to utilize them. And then eventually we do get to the bit where they all come together and defeat Doomsday. And I do like how this Doomsday kind of has like this moment of clarity, because this Doomsday is Bizarro Superman who's been driven insane. And he gets that moment of clarity where Superman flies him out to the sun to kill him. And he wakes up and Superman's about ready to punch him into the sun. And then, he's just is like, no, you don't have to punch me. Just throw me in there. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And it was kind of like, cool. I mean, this is a way different Doomsday than we've ever had before. But I still appreciate it way more than the Snyder one, because what the fuck was that? I feel like, and I also feel like watching this, like when James Gunn was hearing all the stuff about James Gunn and his Superman movie that's coming out in honestly a few months at this point. Where I thought it was following up the Henry Cavill one. It's like, well, you know, he's got plenty of room to improve because Henry Cavill never got the chance to really expand and be the Superman that I feel he could have been. But now watching this, I do feel like James Gunn's got quite a bit bigger shoes to fill, because I thought this was a really good version of Superman. I honestly
I did
did.
too. I did too.
And I'm trying to think. There's a couple of complaints I do have this season. So it feels like throughout mainly the beginning of the season with Jordan, they're building up this season where Jordan is acting like a piece of shit during the first half this season. And I was kind of assuming they were going to build up towards something where, like, you know, essentially Jordan sides with Luthor, and then it essentially is revealed that Jordan decided to kind of play Luthor to get in on the inside a little bit. I thought they were going to work towards that angle. Instead, Jordan just acts like a dick, and then later on he snaps out of it, and then that's it. And it's like, well, was there a point to that? I'm really confused why they wrote that in there. But yeah, so Jordan's just a dick and he snaps out of it.
So he could just be a brooding teenager. That's why.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And then overall, I want to state I thought the ending was very good. You know, and doing good final episodes is always tricky, but I do have some complaints about this one. So first complaint real fast. It has 2 epilogues. So, like, I told you the cliffhanger to episode 9 was Superman getting swept up by Doomsday. And it's like, oh, wow. So, like, they're leaving a lot for episode 10. So episode 10 is going to have to resolve Doomsday. It's going to have to resolve Lex. And I do like the thing where they were able to give Lex that super suit. And the idea of him just stealing Steel's super suit and modifying it himself was actually a clever way to introduce it quickly and have it be a part of the show very quickly. And I thought, well done. But yeah, we go into episode 10. We got to kill Doomsday. We got to stop Lex and his super suit and then resolve the series. And then lo and behold, Doomsday and Lex are gone within the first 20 minutes. Like, bang, bang. And then the rest of the series is epilogue, which would have been okay, but I really dislike there's 2. So let me go over. So the first epilogue is this, like, 1 year later. It's almost like a standard series epilogue where it's just, you know, 1 year later, we could see how everybody's grown, how everybody's come together. And it's nice, you know, nothing fancy. It's about what you'd expect. And then the second epilogue definitely felt like something the creators had an idea to do and probably wanted to do for a while, where it was Superman narrating just kind of the end of his life. And overall, I love the second epilogue. But what they needed to do was get rid of the first epilogue, in my opinion, and fold it into the second epilogue and turn that all into just the story that Superman's telling. Because it felt like, okay, we're ending, and no, we're not ending, we're ending again. Overall, I like the second epilogue quite a bit, and it's way better than the first one, in my opinion. But it's redundant at that point. I just wish they'd fold it into one giant epilogue at that point. And I also felt it was weird when Superman, spoilers again, when Superman meets Lois in the afterlife and she's wearing the fancy red dress, that did not feel right for Lois for me at all. It just felt off. It's tough to describe, but like Lois never struck me as somebody who's like, she imagines herself, or even Clark imagines her as just somebody in like a fancy dress or something like that. It just felt off. I guess I can't really come up with any way to describe it other than it really just feels off. It doesn't feel appropriate for her character. But
for her just to die again from breast cancer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just for her to wear that fancy red dress in the afterlife, it's like that just doesn't feel like her. It doesn't feel like how Clark would see her. I
Oh,
don't know
that?
what's supposed to
Yeah,
be, but
no,
yeah,
I
it
laughed
stood
at
out
that.
off. Yeah, it really
I
was
laughed out loud
weird.
at
Yeah,
that. I was like, why is she wearing the slut dress?
yeah. It's like, yeah, I get it. When she goes out to an event, she'd wear a dress like that. But like, this is like the afterlife. Like, either we're going to get what Lois would want to be in, or what Clark would want to see Lois in. And I don't think either one would pick that.
Do you think he buried her in that?
Oh my God, that would just be wrong.
I did like that we finally get to meet this universe's Jimmy Wilson or Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, Jimmy Olsen, yes, we got like a one
and
episode.
he was
Jimmy
great.
Olsen,
and he was great.
I loved the. It was so sad because essentially Clark wanted to be friends with him, but he couldn't because he kept on having to walk away.
And then he just found out that Jimmy would have been super cool with knowing that he was Superman.
Yeah,
and not really caring.
Mostly the second Jimmy finds out, he's like, "Oh."
So that bump thing was
we can be friends. Yeah.
That bump thing was hilarious. And that's all he says. The first thing to him. And I was like, yeah, the bump was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. He joins the baseball team and he just bunts. He's just not willing to do anything other than bunt. He's really good at
and crypto. Yes, thank you. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I did want to mention that because that was adorable. The freaking oh my God.
Also, why have I never had a dog before? And I was like, that dog better have only one name. It was like Crypto, and I went, you're goddamn right, it's Crypto.
No, I loved it because it, like, he talks about Lois passing and he's by himself, and then he got a dog, and it's like, how have I never had a dog before? This is amazing. And then it's like him just hanging out with the dog for the last few years of his life. It's like, oh my God, that is adorable. Yeah, so like, I definitely feel like there's way more to like than to dislike going out of this. I overall really like this series.
Did it surprise you how he said at the end, near the end, the boys came over? It's like Jordan came over every day, and I'm going, not surprised by that.
Mm-hmm.
John was there every weekend. It's like, I'm not surprised by that either.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things I was wondering about, and I get they didn't do this. So like they switched John actors, and it made me like when I noticed that, it made me wonder, wait, are they going to maybe make John bisexual? Because comic book John is bisexual, which is what the show blew up over. It's like, is it possible the actor left over that? But then they didn't do that. So yeah, I'm not sure why the actor left.
I think what I read when I first looked it up, when we first started watching season 3. When I first noticed that they did it, and then in season 3 was like, I guess the original actor just kind of wanted to pursue education.
Okay. I mean, when you're dealing with younger actors, that makes sense. They might, want to pursue other things. Makes sense. But yeah, like I said, overall, I really like this show. In my opinion, at this point, this is the bar James Gunn kind of has to meet when he does his movie.
I did love that shot of him flying with both the boys in their suits.
Oh yes, and then Steel and Starlight were behind him. That was so cool. Yeah,
that was a pretty awesome, like, super family shot. And it's like,
I was like the closing shot. That I think that's the beginning of the second epilogue. But yeah, it was.
That is.
They all had their super suits. It was like, oh, that's awesome. But yeah, overall, really like this show. Enjoyed it quite a bit. God, try to think. Is this my favorite version of Superman? It might be.
He was a good Superman.
It's a really good Superman. And I keep on going through it, and like my only real competitor is really Christopher Reeve at this point. And it's like, and what holds back Christopher Reeve is his Clark, and I think Tyler Hoechlin's Clark is awesome. I like his Clark quite a bit. So yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. He's my favorite Superman.
And we really didn't get a lot of Henry Cavill's
no.
Clark, excuse me.
No,
Yeah.
his Clark seemed fine, but we didn't get a whole lot of it because it's fucking Zack Snyder, and he couldn't fucking understand character work if his life depended on it. I swear
Well,
to
that's
fucking
because it was
God.
in real time, not slow motion.
Ah, Jesus. Did you know throughout 5 hours of filming Superman, we only go over 5 seconds of his life because that's how Snyder
Oh yes,
rolls.
too. Yeah. All the grandkids. Good
Oh yeah,
lord, all the
that was a
grandkids.
full house. And that did like, I guess it's not important to the overall series, but to me it did beg the question: how many of these kids are going to have superpowers?
Yeah. So
All of them, most of them.
How long does that gene pass on?
Yeah.
And like, it's a lot of people to keep a secret.
Yes. Well, I mean, they did go public, so I guess they're probably just not.
That was a little
anymore.
weird, but I get
Yeah,
why they did the story.
I get
but
it. I mean, they did it in episode 7, literally 3 episodes before the end. It's like, okay, yeah, we're not gonna do much more, and that pretty much all the regulars knew at that point anyway. So,
and that fool tried to start some shit inside of that diner.
Again, and it's like, dude,
Again.
you
And
now
it's
know
like,
he's Superman. What do you think's gonna happen?
The fuck you think is gonna happen to you
Yeah.
now?
Like, unless you got a kryptonite bullet, I don't think anything's happening, buddy. I don't think.
And just like, oh no, just let him. Yeah, just let him.
Yeah.
The whole town has your back, Clark.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
And
mean,
most
that was
town-
part. I mean, that's part of why Luthor wanted revenge on the town, because he literally offered them any townsperson with any info on Superman, he'll pay him 10 million, and nobody turned him in.
Nobody.
And that's why Luthor was like, okay, everybody in Smallville dies. Everyone. And like I said, this is a way darker Luthor than I'm kind of used to. There's usually a bit more of a comedic edge to Lex Luthor, and this one doesn't have that.
And Otis is
all.
usually the comic relief, not like a serious menace.
Yeah, Otis is actually kind of scary here too. It's like,
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
And Otis is like comedic relief in those Christopher Reeve movies.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had a more serious Lex Luthor than this series. I'm trying to think. I can't think of any, but yeah, I think what's his name? Michael Cudlitz, I want to say. He was Abraham in Walking Dead. Quite a bit different role.
Show after the second episode.
Well, you know what? Season 1 of Walking Dead is great, and then just stop. Just fucking stop, because it is so downhill.
Sure. Sure. It stops at the end of the first season. Sure.
Yeah, there's no more seasons after that. And Abraham's not even in the first
season.
So
No. I mean, sure.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I agree with you. Sure, that's when it starts to get bad at the end of the first season. Sure, that's when.
Yeah. Hey, I like season 1. I actually thought season 1
was amazing. That's fine.
And then it kept on going. And I was just like, fuck off.
It just became painfully predictable and too much copy paste from Medium before within the first episode alone for me personally. And if I want to watch humans struggle and fight one another with zombies in the background, I'll just watch somebody who told that story better and watch Day of the Dead.
Well, I will go ahead and give you some season 1 spoilers, because that's part of why I like season 1. Because season 1 actually follows a storyline towards the end where they actually are going to the CDC and they're actually like tracking down a cure, where like they're in contact with scientists who are figuring out a cure and close to figuring out a cure. It's like, oh wow, this could be interesting. And guess what, Bobby? It's never mentioned again after season 1, ever. And yes, it does essentially what you say. It becomes copy paste zombie crap, and fucking the storylines fucking repeat over and over again. Holy shit.
George Romero told season 1 better than it took them an entire season to do. He did that in one movie.
Yeah, I will say that. As much as I like season 1, yeah, I will say that.
Day of the Dead is a better movie than season 1. Yes.
At least it's not as redundant.
No.
But yeah, anyways.
Well, like all of Romero's stuff, he's subtle. with it. With its
But,
messaging.
yeah, Superman Lois was excellent. Quite a big fan. Let me go ahead and pull up the agenda for next week. Oh yeah, next week we do have Craven, don't we?
And it's gonna suck.
No, it'll be great. I don't know
No,
what
it's
you're
gonna
talking
stink
about.
on ice, man.
I want to give it a chance, but you're correct.
You're
It's gonna
nicer.
suck.
You're nicer than me. I'm just realist. It's gonna
can't.
suck.
It's gonna be so bad.
No, it's gonna suck.
Okay. It looks like we got some. So it looks like we're starting Discovery season 4, and then we got Cobra Kai season 4. So doing some season 4s, and then Raven the Hunter.
And we got this upcoming. I don't know much about this, but we'll see.
Oh, it's the animated movie.
Okay.
So it's done by a different company than does Rings of Power. I think it's done by Warner Brothers. And the Chuds were celebrating it because it's like, oh my God, yes, they're going to show, Warner Brothers is going to show Rings of Power, how to do a Lord of the Rings movie. And then they revealed that in the movie, it will be a female lead protagonist. And the Chuds turn against it instantly. But they're not sexist. It's like,
yeah, okay.
You guys are predictable. But
how sad for them.
I feel sad for their fans, man. They're listening to this crap and actually believing it, and it's frustrating. And it's like I don't know how else to handle them other than just be brutally honest with them. But yes, that next week got Cobra Kai, Craven the Hunter, and Star Trek Discovery. So yeah. I don't know if there's initiative again this week. We're on kind of a hiatus, kind of doing a soft reboot. I will be live Thursday. I'm going to go ahead and I'll get some beers, and we're going to watch the Critical Drinkers pilot episode of his series. I've heard great things about it.
When is this?
This will be Thursday. Pretty much everything I've heard about is that it's awful. Even his own community hates it.
Okay, where's it? What's it streaming on?
It's on his channel.
Oh.
So yeah, we will watch that on Thursday, as well as comic book coverage, which I need to get that set up because I need more polls out. But yes, that'll be Thursday. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
No, just take care.
Yeah.
Be good to each other.
Party on and be excellent to each other.
Exactly.
Live long and prosper.